Welcome to our new episode of Digital Health Talk Hanover. Our topic today is investment in healthcare companies. How do startups best capture markets? So it's all about money, how to get it, and how to make a good strategy on the way through. In this part, we think about getting investors, but attracting investors, and also how do markets best combine with your investment strategy. You notice I'm speaking English, so our talk today is not just for our German audience. We have a lot of contacts, colleagues, partners, specifically in the Scandinavian countries. Also, warm welcome to you for joining us today. But the topic itself also is quite internationally relevant. So therefore, it does make sense to look at it from a broader view. My name is Cornelia Körber. I am project director at hannoverimpuls, the economic development agency of Hanover and its region. My two guests are defined experts in investment today, and I'm very happy that we can really dive deep into the topic today. Dr. Bert Brinkhaus is sort of a colleague. He's working for Enjoy Venture, a venture capitalist fund, which is strongly affiliated to hannoverimpuls. And there are three funds we will listen and hear lots about. Hi, Bert, you were already waving to camera. Thank you for being here.
Hi, Cornelia. Great to join. Thank you.
And with this long experience of investing in young companies and in startups, Enjoy Venture was also investing in the company of my second guest, Max Ostermeier. He is CEO and founder of implanted ophthalmology products. And since this is a difficult word, and I was just this is having a little fudge on the second, we just call it shortly IOP to make it shorter. IOP is a company with technology helping numerous patients worldwide with glaucoma. Glaucoma is an eye disease where it's essential to measure your inner eye pressure. And if this is done on a regular basis, you can really prevent people from getting severe stages of the illness, and the worst case would, of course, being blindsided. How does it work? A microsensor is attached on the eye and is then via an app communicating directly the pressure to you and to even the doctor via a telemedicine approach. And all this technology, of course, needed numerous investments. It started 12 years ago, and Max will let us know today about how this was possible and where they are today. Welcome, Max.
Yeah, happy to be here. Thank you very much for the kind introductions.
So I already just said we have a range of investors for IOP. Max, can you let us know whom could you attract?
I think we have a pretty broad range of different kind of investors. Besides the founders, myself and Stefan Meyer, who's the co-founder, we from the very beginning have been also able to attract our future customers, means eye doctors. So we have been able to convince eye doctors in our ideas, in our concept, and also convince some of them to also invest in the company. And I think that really was an extremely helpful step, because that really validated what we did, and that also convinced financial investors to put their money into the company. Because, you know, when your future users are really interested in what you're doing and even pay or invest private money into the company, I think that makes a big difference. And then over the years, we started with HIF and Hannover Beteiligungsfonds. We also started with High-Tech Gründerfonds. I think it's kind of the classical seed funding, along with the founders, with some business angels, with ophthalmologists, with eye doctors. And then in the next rounds,
so maybe if we can even jump in a little here, because there are a lot of acronyms. I imagine a lot of our viewers are not that familiar with. So there were some public attached fundings like High-Tech Gründerfonds, and also HIF and HBF.
Yes.
Since there's Bert with us, maybe Bert, could you quickly describe to us what the funds HIF and HBF are?
Certainly, yes. HIF is a very early stage fund. Yeah, both funds are located in Hanover and they invest in the region of Hanover and Lower Saxony. They both belong to hannoverimpuls, yeah, to the regional development company. And the HIF is a fund which used to invest in very early stage. They had very limited amount of money, only up to 200,000 euros. Yeah, this is for a very, very early stage, right after the founding of the company, to do the first steps. HBF is the follow-on fund, so to speak. Yeah, same owner structure. Both funds are merged by now to each other. The HBF has a higher capacity. Yeah, and they can invest up to 2.4 million euros, yeah, in the maximum range. Yeah, the standard investment is 1.5 million euro, and with this money, you can achieve some significant milestones, yeah, which are important in the early stage development of the company. Yeah, and HBF is partnering with many other investors in Germany. So in an average, you can say that 1 euro paid in by HBF results in about 4 euros a total investment of other funds which we work closely together with.
So these are funds that are definitely worthwhile applying for. We talk about this later. Now, summarizing quickly back to this portfolio of investors. Usually we talk about an investment portfolio. I'm talking now here about a portfolio of different people investing in IOP. You were mentioning specialists and eye doctors acting as business angels. You're mentioning these public attached funds like the ones from hannoverimpuls and also Hightech Gründerfonds. But then at the earlier stages, but then you were just about to say that, of course, you're a little bit more mature, more followed. Which ones?
Right, exactly. And then I think we really approached the typical venture capitalist investor. So we have been able to get Peppermint in Berlin, Peppermint Venture as an investor. Along with them, we got also KfW, which is a German public bank, which is also putting money into venture capital investments.
So that would be rather a loan than an
classical
investment.
It was really equity investment as well. It was an equity investment out of that ERP program by KfW. And then we have been also able to convince 2 family offices, larger family offices, to put money into the company. And it's the last round, we have been also able to get a kind of strategic investor investing money into the company. I think with strategic investors, it's always a little bit challenging because sometimes they want to have some preferred rights on the product commercialization. But in that case, we have been able to negotiate a deal with no strings attached. So they are acting as a financial investor, but providing us some very, very helpful input in respect of their network, in respect of their industry expertise, in respect of their market expertise. And I think with that kind of group of investors, we have a very well-balanced situation with financial investors, with public investors, with strategic investors, and as I said, with the users of our product, which not only provide money, but also provide us a lot of medical advice and guidance, which I think is for a company like us also very important.
Mm-hmm. The success factor behind this, I can imagine that startups now listening to this quite impressive range of different investors that you could attract to IOP. What was your winning factor behind that you could manage to line all of them up?
I think, as said, I think catalysts have been certainly eye doctors investing in the company. I think that made our fundraising much easier. And I think the other thing which we did from the very beginning was talking to potential acquirers of the company sometimes in the future. We are all in this business to develop disruptive technologies, brings them to a certain stage, and then hands them over to larger organizations like Novartis, like Johnson & Johnson, because as a small startup companies, you never will be able to really fully mine the potential of a product. And so I think it's always the idea to raise investors' money, work together, and get the company, get the product to a stage so that it can be handed over to a larger organization, which then fully mines its potential. And so we started very early in the process or in the company history to really also talk to potential acquirers to understand what's important for them. Where do they see pitfalls? And I think also this kind of guidance is extremely helpful, and also gives the investors a higher confidence that the company is doing the right thing. Because
so if I would phrase this in one sentence, could I say you started to think from the end? At the beginning, you were starting to think about the exit and what that would mean and trying to craft a way to reach this.
Absolutely right. Implanted is now my third startup company. And I think in the first 2 startup companies, we also had learned some lessons. And, with the more experience you gather, the better you understand how to tackle that. And I think it's a good idea to really, from the very beginning, start, okay, where I want to go with that company. And what's important to really make it a success. Success could mean, I think depending on what somebody wants to accomplish, success could be that I want to run the company for the next 20 years, which is in our situation not the case. In our situation, it's clearly the case to get the product to a mature stage and get some.
And this is what you've been doing for 12 years now.
Right.
When you listen to the tip of Max to say, a young company should from the very beginning already have an idea of where it should be. Is this something as an experienced investor you're also even looking for when you look into likely investments?
Perfectly, yes, absolutely. We, as a venture capitalist, we don't earn money by dividends or whatsoever. We are exit driven. Yeah, this is the business model we work on. Yeah, we are prepared to go a long way together. Yeah, but what we need to have at the end is an exit, of course, and that's why from the very first moment, this is a question that we have to face as well. Yeah, from the financial point, and it's if the founder has this in mind. Yeah, when developing a company, this is a very good point to get investors' money, of course.
Are there other key factors that you look for when you make a decision whom to invest in?
Definitely, yes. The first thing we look from market and technology, of course. Yeah, but most important is team. Yeah, we have seen strong teams perform very successful with weak or mediocre products. Yeah, but the other way around, it doesn't work. Yeah, so team is very, very important. Yeah, plus we look at the markets. Yeah, if the markets are significantly big enough, yeah, to develop a venture case. Yeah, we need really large markets and growth opportunities. Yeah, to offset losses, of course, that we have in other cases where startups don't work out to be successful. Yeah,
markets is quite a big key point here. So are there any particular markets that you favor, or how should a startup company take this decision of which market is relevant?
Well, we look at market size. Yeah, we look at national market size. Yeah, and at global market size. Yeah, I think what you're addressing is which markets to go into first. Yeah, this depends very much on the product we are talking about. Yeah, for products like Implanted has. I think that the US market may be the most significant and important one, yeah, from the market size, yeah, and the opportunities to enter. But it depends very much upon the individual product.
Yeah. No, that's for Implanted totally true, because we are a medical device company, means we have to meet certain regulatory standards, which are pretty uniform now within Europe. As well as for US, but the market access means who is paying for the product, reimbursement is way more complex in Europe versus US. And therefore, we always decided that Europe for us is the place to do early validation, technology, clinically, and also from a market point of view. But we always had in our minds that sooner or later we have to, once we have done this important validation steps, we have to bring the product to the US, because US is still the most important market for medical devices. And as I said, you have a large market with a homogeneous market access situation. And I think as a company, you really also have to think about what are the challenges and the obstacles, and in which market you will have a better return on each euro or dollar invested. And I think that's always something you have to keep in mind.
Did this affect your choice of investors?
Not necessarily. I think investors understand, the market situations in the different places. So far, we haven't had any US investors. We are right now talking to some of them, but it did not really affect our choice of investors. So I think professional investors understanding now the company has to focus on markets where they have the highest value creation. And I think that's not necessarily. Sometimes you meet investors who only like to invest in German companies and not outside Germany. But I think in the medical device space, it's so international, it's so global, and also investors understand that.
Bert, how is it for the funds that you are at the moment leading? Yeah. Are you investing in Germany only? Are you investing international?
We are investing in Germany only, yeah, and we invest with a special focus in a part of Germany, in Lower Saxony, because this is a matter of fact, because of our investors, the investors into our fund. They give up. They gave us investment criteria, where to invest. Yeah, not only in which technologies and so on, but also in which regions. Yeah, they want the money to be invested to develop certain things in Germany with a focus on Lower Saxony. So in our case, we can invest in Implantata, being a Hanover company, yeah, but the same company being located in US wouldn't work out for us. Yeah, but that's not the rule. Yeah, this is, we are only one rather small investor. Yeah, given the broadness of larger investors and international investors makes no difference.
And also for you, if I understood this correctly, the international perspective is quite important because, as you said, the market and the market size is important. So the company is based in Lower Saxony, regional here, but their approach obviously would be global and globally thinking about what is the best market to go into, giving you the highest return. Would that be correct?
That's absolutely correct. Yeah, and that's a proof of good management. Yeah, to see where the development is best, yeah, for earnings.
So I know that the different funds you described, you're already investing into seed, you're investing into startups, and now there's the third fund, the Lower Saxony Growth Fund, coming up, where you are also investing into maybe later stage companies. Maybe then IOP would get the third invest, who knows? But we will share your contact details later on, of course. Is there something in particular that you could recommend companies that are listening to us right now, what they should do when they file an application for one of the two funds that you are in charge of?
Yeah, the early stage fund HBF, which we talked about earlier, is, as the name says, yeah, for early stage investment. The growth fund has certain criteria that has to be met before we can mention an investment through that fund. Yeah, it's roughly we have to see the product in the market. Yeah, we have to see a certain amount of turnover, and that's, say, round about 1 million in turnover, which is quickly done, yeah, when you enter a market with a medical device, yeah, but with other products, it can be, even on a shorter range, be achieved earlier.
Your contact details, as I said, will follow. This is already a good indicator of where we can be. Max, is there something that you in particular can recommend to companies on the way to attract investors? But I also know that there is something specific you do in order to keep them.
I think, first of all, it's important to attract investors. And I think my advice to founders will always be, don't be too greedy about valuation. I have seen also colleagues, where they had valuations, company valuations in mind, which just didn't make any sense. And by that, you will lose already all credibility. So be rational about valuation and take money when you can get it. Sometimes if money is offered, take it, because that's always a constant struggle. And so I think that's two important things. But once you have attracted investors, it's even more important to keep them happy.
And keeping them happy, I think there's one specific thing that
I think reporting is really key, and I think we really spend a lot of time, or I spend a lot of time in reporting monthly reports, not only about the financials, but also what's going on with the company, what's going wrong, because if there are problems, investors want to know early on. They hate surprises, and so I think be honest, be open, and I think then people and investors will understand, that there are challenges on the way, and then there is a chance, to kind of fix them and find solutions together. I think that's an important thing to establish trust with investors. And at the end, it's a partnership. We are together in a boat, and we have to have a common goal in mind. And so you have to work very closely. The investor is not your enemy. I think the investor is your partner, and you can do sparring with investors, but at the end, it's your partner, like in a marriage, And I think
those are great final words. And we have this married couple here today in investment form speaking. Thank you for being here. I try to summarize like 3 major key points because we really had a deep dive into all of the investment life right now. I heard that team is really key, and by team, this is also what that Bert was focusing on, and Max was directly hinting again, saying trust and credibility are essential keys. The second, I think I heard also from both of you, is market and market size. Really be aware, where is the best reimbursement for the product for your company? And that leads to the third factor. Think about the exit. Sometimes think it from the end to the beginning. Thank you so much for joining me today. It's been a pleasure.
Likewise. Thank you very much.
Likewise. Thank you, Cornelia. Great.
And now to the contact details I was promising. You can see, I need to step a little bit to the side. Now you can see the email addresses of Max, of Bert, and then of course also mine. If there are any questions, any ideas, please feel free to write to us and contact us. Of course, we have another Digital Health Talk Hanover coming up. The one is already in 2 weeks' time, and it is about the AI in medicine. It's part of our Bundesweiter Digitaltag. As you listen, this is German, so the talk is going to be in German. It's about the Digital Day of our Federal Republic of Germany. And my colleague Melissa will moderate it. Of course, you can already register to it. I'm having a little stumble here, sorry. You can register already today, and you can see the link also in our chat. It's open up on our website. We have, as you know, the Digital Health City Hanover website. And there you can also find all the previous talks recorded. So if there's something that you would like to listen into again, or that you would like to share with a colleague, just go there, find it. And if you think this format is something of value that you would also like to tell to someone else, please do so. We're also on LinkedIn. That's a very good way to distribute just with one click. And if you scan the barcode on the presentation that you don't see right now, I just put it on again. There it is. If you scan it here, then you are directly in our LinkedIn profile. Thank you everyone for joining in today. It was a lot of fun and I hope to see you soon. Stay safe.
Stay safe.
See you, bye.
Bye-bye.